What is going on, viewers of YouTube? SunSpot here, and I am back. Give you guys my review of the Toys R Us exclusive Bandai Legacy Collection 2017 movie Black Ranger 7-inch collectible figure. As per usual, I do want to highlight the box. You have the Bandai logo up there alongside the warning labels, limited edition sticker right there, the Power Rangers logo. You can take out the background with the lightning bolt, use it as a backdrop for your character. You have the Build a Megazord logo there, the Chicken Zord as I like to call it, to say Legacy Collection Black Ranger right there. For some reason it's in white lettering and not black, which is odd because this is the Black Ranger and all the other ones have the same colors. The Toys R Us exclusive, don't ask me why it's a Toys R Us exclusive, that is weird. And a nice artwork image of the Black Ranger looking very, very shiny and a hell of a lot better than the figure. Sides of the box are pretty plain. Do have some white lightning bolts there and continues the artwork of the Black Ranger. Other side is very plain, has the transparent cover. Top of the box has the new Power Rangers logo for the upcoming 2017 movie, and the bottom is pretty much useless. Back of the box just highlights the Build-A-Figure Megazord, the Chicken Zord, there he is, and the Black Ranger has the right leg, or the right chicken leg, and here are all the other figures in the wave so far. As for the figure himself, forgive me please, I know the setup here is really, really bright, and that's just because I have a black background and this is the Black Ranger, and if I don't really pump up the settings you'll hardly see this, guys, so forgive me for this being an uncomfortable setting. But as far as the figure as a whole goes, it's the blue and the red Ranger mold by far, and he obviously has a different head sculpt, which I'll highlight here in a minute. Do want to give you guys a quick 360 of the figure. It's definitely nice. I do prefer this one over the red and the blue Ranger so far, just because I think the Black Ranger had just always had a cooler design in my mind. He was unique, and he had the Mastodon as his as his dinosaur, or his mammoth, I suppose, and I've just always preferred this over the of the male Rangers, so I am definitely happy to have this in my collection, of course. As for the head sculpt, it's pretty decent. I don't really have too much of a problem with this. Give you guys a quick 360 here. I do like the design. It's definitely very reminiscent of the original Black Ranger, and honestly I would love to show you guys a comparison to him, the Legacy version, or the previous wave, but I can't find him anywhere. It's almost impossible for me. I mean, I can order him online, but I really wanted to find them in stores. But besides the point, you could tell they put a lot of detail in here. I do love these silver bits here, just below the eyes or the visor here. It just looks very nice, very reminiscent of the original. A much smaller mouth plate, actually. I just noticed this. This really kind of makes sense, just because the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers did have the smaller mouth plates in the TV show and the movie. And all the other, so far in the wave, all the other Rangers from this new movie just have a much wider one. So that's kind of cool. Definitely something new brought to the table here, and just, you can tell they put a lot of definition here. I do love these scales at the back, and overall, it's just a really nice mold. And same goes for the rest of the figure here. Do have his blue power gem morpher thing, whatever this is, and you could tell there's more of it there, just poking out the sides of his chest. I don't know what purpose this is going to serve. I assume it's to power up the Megazord, since the Megazord has that on his chest. We'll honestly have to wait and see, but there's actually quite a bit of blue on this. I'm surprised they put all these waves of blue right here. It kind of messes with the design a little bit. I'm not too big of a fan of these, but it's really no big deal. And no, there's no dinosaur on his morpher. It's just yellow, blue, and the swirly silver for whatever reason. I don't know why they did that. And the fishnet is sculpted on, which is nice, and it really feels like it's molded on. Actually, right here it didn't, that's why, but no, is it? I can't tell, honestly. Here, let me move it. Yeah, it's molded on. I don't know why I thought that for a second. And the shoulder right here, I wish it kind of went over like that, but they're going off the movie. Just looking at all these silver bits here, a lot of definition on the forearm. You could tell they put a lot of detail into this. And looking at the back, he does have that, this seems to be a theme with all the Rangers, the spine, which I'm not a fan of, but whatever. And honestly, the spine doesn't look too bad on this figure. I think I like the spine most here on the Black Ranger. Just, it fits well, and maybe that's just because I'm a fan of black and silver together, because this looks nice. I love the silver on this guy. It really matches, just because of the glossy black they use for this figure. It just looks spot on. And there's his Ranger butt. Again, the fishnet, and they crafted his butt cheeks, of course. And moving down on the figure, more of that silver and stuff, the fishnets. I like the silver surrounding the black on the kneecap too, and I like how they added a little indentation right there that splits the kneecap in half. I think that looks cool. And yeah, the paint is bare here, like I keep saying, and mostly on the back of the legs too. I wish they put some silver bits and stuff, but I don't think they'll ever do that if they ever, you know, make maybe a different kind more of these, but oh well. And just give you guys a full look. Let me zoom out for you. Sorry if I sound tired, it's been a long day. And one thing that bothers me most about this figure is the openings of where you can see the joints. Actually, it bothers me most on this Ranger specifically. For some reason, maybe it's in my mind, I feel like these where the joints connect for the legs and the arms are just more open than the other Rangers, like even further out, which bothers me just a bit, but that's alright. And I wish they would have done something more with the joints here too on the elbows. In person, it's a different color than the standard black. The glossy black they use. It's more of a matte black. So that bothers me a little bit. It's not so much present here on the back of the knees for whatever reason, but it's definitely present on the elbows. As for articulation, this guy does have a ton. To start out with, his head can move up pretty far, not as far as the blue or the red Ranger, but still go down pretty far, look to his right, his left, and can go the full 360, even though I don't recommend doing that. Shoulders can rotate fully, as well as go out and in. No bicep swivel, which sucks. I don't know why Bandai did that. And he does have the double jointed elbow, which is always appreciated, and the wrist is on a ball joint, so you could basically do anything with it. The ab crunch is not too strong. He can't really go forward, but he can go back pretty far. And he does have a waist swivel. I just heard a crack, so I got a little scared, and it actually clicks right here. Well, not really clicks, but it locks right there, which is nice. Legs can go forward that much, not really back because his butt's blocking it. Can do the splits easily. Does have the thigh swivel, double jointed knee, and his feet can go forward, back, and he has a nice ankle pivot. As for size, this guy stands at about 7 inches tall, like the others. If you don't believe me, I do have my trusty tape measure here, and let's just see where he's at. So he stands just at about 7 inches tall. And here he is with all of the other Rangers in the wave. I have officially reviewed each and every one of these. Just wanted to show you guys all of them together, and I think they look pretty badass. I do have my flaws with them, but altogether, they definitely look awesome. And as far as scale goes, I'll keep saying this, the Red Ranger should be taller. I know the Blue Ranger should be taller, and definitely the Yellow Ranger should be shorter because she's way shorter in the movie. But even though they didn't go the Black Series approach, it's still cool. Here he is next to a standard Marvel Legends figure. Of course, these have nothing to do with each other, but as far as skill goes, it's pretty good. And here he is next to my alpaca. As for accessories, he has none, just like the others, but he does come with a Build-A-Figure piece. And before I get into this, just want to show you, I amped the exposure, and this is how he looks without everything amped up to bright. Can you guys see him? Maybe it's just my camera, I'm honestly curious. I'll look at the footage later, but I want some feedback. Anywho, let's look at this Build-A-Figure piece right here. Yeah, you know, it's a giant chicken leg. Solid piece of gray plastic. The fishnet, or the feathers, are molded on pretty nicely. I do like this blotch of fat right here. I think it's actually molded on pretty well. Do have a shade of blue right there, which is nice. Don't know what that is, but, you know, that's there. This is an odd kneecap. It's obviously the head of a dinosaur, or the, kind of looks like the Triceratops because of, the spike right here. I actually just noticed that. I wonder how that'll turn out in the movie, but it's a pliable piece of plastic, so very flexible. The feet do have a shade of blue. Wish it had more like yellow and stuff, because honestly, these Megazord pieces are just all over the place. So overall, I do recommend this figure. He's definitely my favorite Ranger of the wave so far. Usually the Pink Ranger would be my favorite, but she's a little bit on the weak side in this wave, but I think the Black Ranger stands out the most by far. Obviously way better than the Alpha 5, which I'll get into later in that review, but if you do see this in your store on February 15th, which is when these figures officially release, I do recommend you pick him up, even if you're not getting the rest. He's just a cool figure. And with that said, people, if you did enjoy this video, please like, subscribe, comment, check out my site at SunSpotReviewz.com, and I will see you guys in my next video.